In this lesson, you will learn how to write equations that represent functions. Here are some things that you need to remember. These are words that suggest addition, plus, sum, more than, increase by, total, in all. Here are some words that suggest subtraction, minus, difference, less than, decrease by, fewer than, subtracted by. Words that suggest multiplication, times, product of, each, factors, twice, and words that suggest division, divided by, quotient, rate, ratio, half, a third of. If these words confuse you, then you want to go ahead and pause the recording and write them down if you've never heard them before, or if you've never paid attention to them, because these are going to be helpful when you're looking at word problems. So if you find yourself always needing help with a word problem, it would behoove you, meaning it would be wise for you to write some of these words down. Alright, well, let's begin. A worker's earnings, E, are a function of the number of hours worked at a rate of $8.75 per hour. So first we're going to relate. We're going to try to figure out what is this problem telling us. The worker's earnings, E, are a function, so meaning his earnings can be written as a function of the number of hours worked, number of hours, worked at a rate of $8.75 each hour. In other words, instead of saying per, I could use that word each. So it's a number of hours worked each hour. Well, let's think about those key words. Each, multiply. So I'm going to think multiplication. So now, first off, let's go ahead and define our variables. So our earnings is going to be E. Hours, for each hour, that's our other variable. So let's go ahead and use H. Starts with an H, so might as well just use an H. We know that each means that we're going to multiply. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say my earnings, my total earnings is going to be equal to $8.75 H for each hour. E equals 8.75 H. And Viola, we're done. Well, let's try another example. A new book is being planned. It will have 24 pages of introduction. Then it will have C 12-page chapters and 48 more pages at the end. Write a rule that represents the total number of pages P in the book as a function of the number of chapters. And then it says, suppose there are 25 chapters. How many pages will it have? So we have an extra step that we need to do, which is evaluate. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the relation. Let's look at the words here. You've got 24 pages of introduction, and then it will have C 12-page chapters. We don't know how many C 12-page chapters there are. And then it will have 48 pages at the end. Alright, so we've got 24 plus C 12-page chapters plus 48 pages at the end. Let's go ahead and make sure we define our variables. And they helped us with that in this problem. Chapter represents C, and pages represent P. And now let's write it out. Well, let's see. We've got 24 pages and 48 pages. They don't have to be multiplied by anything. So let's go ahead and just add them together. And I get 72 plus see 12-page chapters. We don't know how many chapters there are, but when we do, we're going to multiply them. And that will give us the total number of pages in the book. So that's our function. Or, if you're like me, you kind of like to write it with the variables in the front. So I'm just rewriting it that way. So this is the rule for the function to represent the function. It could be either this one or this one. Now we've got to evaluate it. Suppose there are 25 chapters. So we're going to go ahead and just use the rule. And we're going to put 25 in there. Plus 72. I'm going to get my trusty calculator out. I'm going to multiply 12 times 25. And I get 300 plus 72. That gives me a grand total of 372 pages. So if there are 25 chapters, then this book will have 372 pages. And you're done. In this lesson, you just learned how to write a rule for a function to represent a function. Have a great day.